Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. I'm here with Adam Iniquity, illustrator, artist, and more. And we have a new project in the works, which we want to kind of demonstrate briefly. It's a project based on the daemon, or true will. One thing that we're going to do, as you know with the daemon, is everyone always, usually in the ritual chamber, altar, whatever, have statues of various deific masks or gods, demons, etc. And one of the things that, as people called Luciferians, we fail to do is to visualize and focus on our true will or our daemon itself. Have you ever thought about what your daemon looks like, what it would be like? And I've heard people talk about different gods and demons and say, I feel a connection to that energy. Well, one of the things that I did over the past couple of years is create daemon images of myself with my facial features and various other elements from cultures. I have several that I use, but it's the same true will. I look at it when I'm doing rituals in the context of which I'm doing it. Well, one thing that we're going to do is this project is going to be offered that you can send to us your basic traits, your name, what gods or demons you're associated with, like that you feel attuned to, that you work with the most. And then what your true will is, like the one, if there's a word or sentence to describe it, like to expand Luciferianism throughout the world, or whatever it would be in your own line of work, whatever drives you and inspires you. And then Adam, what are you going to do?
I'm going to take that picture and the information that I received from Michael, the profile, and I'm going to kind of mold it into your daemon, or what I consider to be your daemon, based off description. And you can use that as you believe fit, or how you see fit.
Yeah, remember, the daemon, in terms of Luciferianism, is your personal. That's related to your personal development, spiritual self, and also something to attain to. The daemon is always something that you visualize to drive yourself to greatness, whatever that may be for you. So understand that you should give as much in terms of details for such a creation, because if not, Adam's left up to his interpretation.
Yeah, you don't want anything left up to me.
Yeah, and the art's already done by him, so you want to give as much direction as possible. But you want to be concise too. You don't want to change it 5 days later, because that could be really annoying.
Yeah, you're gonna want things that always stuck with you throughout the years, I guess, like things that you really like, have a passion for. And I can incorporate that into the picture in a number of different ways.
Yeah, that could be, let me say something totally stupid. If you're a DJ and you want to put out records, then you could put a turntable under your head. Not that we're saying do that. It is a serious endeavor. For all the ones I have, Adam's recently created one that's a manifestation of my work with Ahriman, with the Luciferian, or the black flame, the star of Lucifer. This particular image that he's working with is the Fidus Morgenstern Lucifer, morning star. This image I worked with, I got it from a friend years ago, and then I found a really high-resolution original card that it was printed on. I used this in my ritual chambers for years, along with the one with the wings. And I would visualize, I wouldn't even see his visual representation. I saw myself in that. I would visualize myself in that. And that kind of formulated my daemon. So what do you do with something like this once you get it done? Well, it's going to tell a lot about who you are as a person and what you aim for. It's not going to be like some abstract fantasy thing. It's actually like you would see a statue of a Roman emperor. Now, Roman emperors didn't worship themselves. The people used the state religion as to worship the daemon or the genius. That's what this is. You're not bending knees to anything or yourself as a problem with your ego. It's what you attain to. And I think you could. What is the process that you go through with something like this?
Making the images?
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to look at common lines, similar traits and stuff in both images that I'm working with, be it if this were a wolf or any other picture I'm blending images with. Kind of look for common lines that occur naturally. Then I can always go through and make my own later on, but to pick something out, it really has to have a connection. That's why you want their descriptions to be something that really means to them, because I can turn anything into whatever through Photoshop, but you want it to be something that's going to have meaning afterwards too.
Yeah, it's something that you're going to put up in your ritual chamber. It's not necessarily something you're going to show everybody. You might want to, you might not want to. That's up to you. Like, for instance, when I talk about details, one thing that I would say, if I had sent this to Adam, which I did send him the Fidus a long time ago, I would say, cannot be 6 stars. It's got to be 7 rays, not 6. And he would say, really? And and then I explained the meaning of this why, and boom, he would do it. So it's that type of stuff. You don't wait till it's done and then go back and say, wait, that's not, or like 8 rays. That's not chaos, or that doesn't represent algal. You have to be particular, and but be fair, because the time he's going to spend on it is going to be exclusively for you. And believe me, he really gets into his art. So you're going to have some great things to see later on. Is there anything you won't do in terms of illustrating a daemon?
I pretty much work with everything, I guess. Really, there's no limits, in my opinion. It's depending on what descriptions you give me is what I try to do with it. The way we're going to put it together, and you'll see this coming up when it's officially launched and has a channel outlet for you guys to contact. The office at Succubus is going to get to me a kind of a paper that you apply for. It's not really an application. You're going to fill out your name, your age, what zodiac sign you are, what your attributes are. Like, what are your traits? What kind of information do you need for that?
Well, I really need the things that you are driven towards in life. And I would even go further to say, I want to know what your true will is, in a sentence. Because that's part of the formulation of the image. And then tell me what gods, what specific deific mass symbols that you are close to, that really drive you home. Not something you just got into last week, but something that's consistent over time. Then once you do that, the area of Luciferianism that you're really into. Because, the path has so many different ways you can go in terms of cultures and different types of genres within itself. It's that kind of freedom that you're going to have to be specific on. If you want a Baphomet type figure, then you don't say, well, I'm into the Book of Airmen or whatever. You've got to be specific. That's the type of stuff we need. And the animals, if there are any, reptiles. Some people, Wiccans will talk about totems, or pagans will. And, we see that as symbols associated with elements within ourselves. So all that stuff would be really helpful. And it will probably take, we're estimating, probably about a week to get everything together. I would think it might be sooner or later.
Where can they start?
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say, where can they submit that information to?
We're gonna have a direct link on LuciferianWitchcraft.com very soon. We're also going to probably have a Facebook for it. It's going to be something to where some of the Succubus 1 or 2 succubus people are going to handle the overall. They're going to get the papers to me, the info. I might have questions for you. We're all very busy, so it's going to be on a schedule, a kind of a time schedule.
Super busy.
Yeah. So, with that said, anything you can provide to us as a complete picture. The one thing I would ask you guys, if you're interested in this, in not doing, is sending essays. And what I mean by that is if you send me something and it has your first experience in the occult when you were a kid, unless it's super relevant, all that stuff will just slow it down because I'll try to read and understand what you're trying to say. And if it's something very elaborate, it'll take some time. And I might even freeze up and not do anything. I'm just kidding. Actually, just keep it simple and direct. If there are any questions after that, I will get back to you. So if you right now are thinking, that's a good idea, I like that, I would like to have an image of my daemon based on a description, what do I do to look at? What can I look at in the meantime before this is released? Well, there's a couple books, and I've got a full book, not really so much a grimoire, but a book on the daemon, history, and how to utilize it. But in the meantime, there's a couple books that you can pick up. Adversarial Light, Dragon of the Two Flames, Goetia of Shadows. Actually, there's quite a large couple areas of that. The Bible of the Adversary. Let's see, Akaru has a invocation of Lilith to bring forth the true will for females who are close to that type of vampiric deific mask. So we have a couple different ones. And what rituals do I use to invoke my daemon? Well, there's no set ritual for doing that. It could be something physical. It could be a extreme hiking process. It's something that pushes you to the edge, to where you get that spark, that you know what you have to do. It can be through ritual workings, chants. I've given probably no less than 5 or 6 different invocations that can be used with like a month period that you do them every day. Why all that elaborate stuff? Well, it's not really elaborate. It's all about throwing yourself into it to where you eventually cross a boundary within your mind. And Adam, you know a lot about crossing boundaries in your own mind. What are you doing here? I notice I'm becoming better looking.
I'm just blending the images. Wasn't really given too much of a direction with it. What I'm doing right now is just kind of putting my own artistic input into it.
Yeah, and I'll say for myself, Azalusel, which is my daemon, has many different visualizations that I work with for different grimoires. I have the Persian Aktaya, the Hak Azalusel, and all have the same name, but this daemon is visualized in a kind of period Persian like headdress and imagery. All have hats, which you commented on. Wondered why they all had hats. Well, I don't know why Daemon chooses that.
Hat fetish.
Maybe I do have a hat fetish. Probably. The other thing I'll say is I have an image in the Hellenic, like Seleucid, Alexander the Great type ruler cult image as Zeus Ammon for when I'm working with the Greek gods. And then there's the Canite Repesh, which is published in Dragon of Two Flames and a Babylonian manifestation. Why so many? What, do you have an ego problem? Why is your picture on the wall? This is something that someone might say right away.
Fucking good looking, that's why.
Yes, because, damn, even as a Persian, I'm freaking hot. No. Well, yes. But really it comes down to it's not you, it's your true will. Your true will has to have identifiable features in it. If it doesn't have identifiable features, then you're not going to subconsciously relate to it. When I see this image he's doing, invoking, I'm going to identify immediately with it. And that says a lot. Now, you will get this, and over time, you will grow more and more fond of it. And there will come a time, a couple years later, when you're like, okay, I feel like my daemon has acquired other attributes. Well, then you explore, do a different image. That's why I have several. I don't work with the same one every day. I'm working with different pantheons.
Yeah, when I first started doing art, I didn't really have any fans, no models who wanted to work with me. So I have many images that are basically just me, reproduced. And honestly, I thought it was the best model for the job at the time. And that kind of sparked my modeling career too.
Yeah.
So, opinions change, views change, so images change.
Yeah, and there's certain daemon images that I have that I haven't put out publicly, and there's some that I work intensely with for a period of time, and then I work with a different pantheon, maybe one of the unpublished grimoires, and I put that other one away because my mind is not there for that time. But it all still has the same consistency of true will and what that is. Now, what if, and I've seen this before, I know some new to the Luciferian path or Satanism, magic in general, say, I know, because I've gotten the letters, I know I'm the incarnation of Lucifer. I know I am. And yes, I have got those letters, and I can tell you you're not because I am. No, actually. Don't be careful in associating yourself with specific gods. The traits of certain ones are useful, but to identify with the complete God is to do the same that Christians do and throw yourself into something else. You want to acquire and individualize your true will that is separate from anything else. So, this looks like you're almost finished with it.
Yeah, I'm just, I can do a number of different things, but I'm just messing around with overall touch-ups, looks to the general. Could even add color to it if necessary.
Yeah. And, the color matters as well. That's something that's going to be in with that. What colors do you associate? And the elements that you tell me, like, I'm really drawn to, like, water. I love air. Or,
fucking love air.
Yeah, air's the best.
Awesome. Without it, I think I would die of asphyxiation.
Yeah, probably would get a little stuffy. Fire, whatever it is, you tell us those things, and then you'll get something that has those elements worked into it, or the colors that are associated. What do you do with the image when you get it? And what do you get? Well, you're going to get a printout, most likely, or a digital image. We're not sure which. I don't want to put that in concrete, but it's definitely going to be a digital image, which you can print off yourself, or I'm sure we'll have it offered. We could probably even do a big poster of it. That would be really bold, and those of you who have other people in the house might think you have an ego problem, wherein you would want to do it more, because that's fun. What do you do with it? You get this thing with a paper that is typed out that gives you some rundowns on your completion, your daemon, and we're not going to force any attributes on your daemon. That's up to you and what you provide to us. And then to consecrate it. You frame it, do whatever, put it above your altar, on your altar, and burn some incense, your favorite incense, and invoke it. Invoke your daemon, make a hymn to it, calling on that to kind of guide and inspire your direction. And the one thing I would love to see from this movement is that people start thinking individually on their own more. Like, for instance, instead of whenever you get into a dilemma, I see people, and this is a pet peeve of mine. I have a few, but this is a big one. They immediately call every friend they have to validate their problem. And it can be a simple problem. And it somehow, over this period of time, it becomes this huge overriding thing that's their life. One would invoke their daemon, seeking the answer or the guidance for what it is, and next day you're gonna have that. It's gonna be there. If you're an extrovert, you've got to tell everyone anything. Well, tell them something else. It's a good way to improve by doing things like that on your own. So, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, what if they don't want color? If they want black and white, we're going to allow them to do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's whatever.
It's going to be a price difference. I haven't really thought about it too much.
I wouldn't see a price difference because, sometimes black and white can be, for me, striking as color. Depends how it's done. So anything that they would want would be fine. I think it's just a matter of how they describe it.
I don't want to stroke my own ego either, but keep in mind it's going to be a signed, numbered Adam Iniquity piece of art. It's all unique, and
that's you've seen his art, Goetia of Shadows. He illustrated a striking, powerful image of Lucifer as having the attributes of the Agatho-daemon. If you guys know Alexander the Great and the cult of the Daemon, his form as genius appearing as a serpent, which you should if you're into magic. It's kind of the roots of some of that stuff. It kind of embodies all that. So this has been us showing you what we're doing with the video. This Daemon Project will be publicly online soon, ready to go, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.